Okay, so I wanted to make a quick video before I actually head out the door. I have to do my hair and then I have to take off. But I wanted to make a video today, um, another video, basically because I think a lot of people undermine or minimize the importance of this issue, and it is extremely important for me to convey a message that I'm not interested in being harassed, being called into job interviews, or even being offered jobs if these people aren't sincere. I was contacted today by Select Staffing, Yolanda Martinez. I went ahead and said yes, only because I have an obligation to fulfill as far as my job search is concerned with the EDD. But I'm not interested in being toyed with. I'm not asking for it. I don't want to be wasting time. As far as, what is that company? Robert Half, Accountants. I had contacted one of the representatives from that company, letting them know I was interested in work. And he's like, oh yeah, we'll get you set up. No response, okay? Of course I'm going to have issues with that because I'm a person who is being discriminated against for reasons that I don't deserve to be discriminated against for, or anything. There's no reason for me to be discriminated at all. I conduct, myself in a very professional manner, and I deserve to be, placed for a job just like anybody else. I resent people contacting me just to waste my time. I'm a person who's on limited income. I don't have time to, go jet setting all over the place to look for a job, so I don't appreciate it. I do suspect this job offer from Select Staffing is bogus, and these companies need to be reported. They need to be reported for the simple fact that this is a huge problem. Being a targeted individual is a huge problem for many people. It's affecting more than 1 million people in the United States. And for people to make light of a situation where a person's life is in jeopardy, and yeah, I do believe my life is in jeopardy. I do. Okay, I don't have time. If I'm putting myself in I'm being put in a financial situation that I didn't ask to be in. I'm being forced into situations that are putting me, a major financial strain. I'm dealing with issues that I don't deserve to be dealing with. Yeah, your life is in jeopardy. And to make light of a situation like that, to me, is just insane. Why would somebody even think something like that is remotely funny? Unless, of course, you have some sort of murderous intent, which I suspect these companies do. I don't like being somebody who likes to throw out names, but I will throw out names. And I will do it so gladly, because this is a system that should never have taken place. And yeah, I do hold these employers responsible. I'm referring to Steve Murray and people like Karen Johnson and whatever. And I'm not trying, because this is a very worrisome situation to be in. Okay, it is a very worrisome situation to be in. Okay, it is. It's terrifying for me. And I don't want anything to do with my siblings, but they should know that their actions affected me, terribly. I didn't deserve to be put in this situation because they're assuming things about me that aren't true. None of the things that they say about me are true, or they thought about me is true. And they don't know me as an adult, and nor do I want to have a relationship with them. I don't want to ever see them again. I just want to get on with my life, and being contacted by like agencies or whatever, I'm going to respond to them only because, you know what I mean? Like I said, I have an obligation to fulfill. Do I think that these people are sincere? No, I don't. I don't believe that, this person who contacted me through Select Staffing is sincere. I think she's just a very sick individual who wants to stir up trouble. Period. And I don't have time for it. I don't have time for it. I don't want to deal with it, and I didn't deserve it. So it's like, you get these people who are all interconnected, which I find is very funny. Like when you deal with some of these agencies, like I dealt with Laura Hill, who probably got involved with Kim Patterson and so on and so forth. All these people who are working for separate companies, who are basically, doing this conflict of interest to block somebody who doesn't deserve it on issues that are, to me, are wrong, for the simple fact that, like, for example, companies like the one that Kim Patterson works for, that's supposed to be an equal opportunity employer, okay? So everything that she's holding against me is against her own policies, okay? How could she not see that? So I'm very irritated, and these people deserve to be reported because they're participating in a program. They're participating in a program that is basically a form of a Holocaust is basically what it is. This is the new Holocaust. These targeted individuals that you're seeing, who people are basically ganging up on and trying to prevent from moving on and getting on with their life. It is, and it's affecting many, many people for whatever reason. You know what I mean? And so I'm not comfortable with that. I'm not comfortable with, people not returning my phone calls. I'm not comfortable with that. That creates more agitation and fear in me because I'm like, okay, what the hell is going on? I didn't do anything. I didn't deserve to be put in this situation at all. And the very fact that, I have people like Steve Murray trying to make decisions for me and these sort of things, it's wrong, period. My decisions should be based on what I want and what I need to do. And let's just say, for example, I don't want to be presumptuous or anything, but let's just say, for example, Steve Wiles is involved in this and he's concerned about what I'm doing for a living. Well, then that's a conversation that he and I would have to have face-to-face or something along those lines. It makes sense to be that way. I mean, have all these other people involved, it doesn't make sense to me. It really doesn't. So I'm just trying to figure it out. I mean, you can't expect somebody who's dealt with this sort of harassment to not feel a certain sense of anxiety and fear. You can't, especially when you understand what a targeted individual is. So that's what I'm asking for. I'm asking for understanding. I mean, why shouldn't I have that? Because all I'm dealing with is hostility. I'm dealing with hostility from when I went to the company and talked to Kim Patterson, and she was acting like I didn't have a right to seek employment. That's wrong. That is very wrong to do. You should never behave in a way like that. So I have a right to, to make decisions, and when people get involved in it, and they're like my family getting involved in it, they should have never been involved in the first place. So I'm very glad to purge these people. I don't want them in my life at all. And it's not that I don't like having fun. It's not that I don't, I can't take jokes or anything like that. But, I don't expect to have people playing jokes on me when I don't know them. I don't know. I don't know, these people well enough for me to be taking this lightly, I don't have any responsibility to anybody. I'm completely estranged from my family. So I don't have, they should have never been involved anyway. So if something happens to me, my family has blood on their hands, basically, because I'm not responsible for any of these things that happen. They need to take responsibility for what they've done, and if they don't, I will tell you that I've gone without, celebrating holidays. I've done all this for a few years now, okay? Not a word did I hear from my family. My family is the kind of people, they like stir up trouble, and they take no responsibility for it, okay? They're cowards, which is something that I don't respect at all. And, unless, of course, you're in this situation, you can't, you don't know what a person's going through, the kind of anxiety that they go through being in a program like this. It is very anxiety inducing. And I'm supposed to just sit back and think, okay, everything's okay. It's not okay. It's not okay at all. I can't help but feel, a sense of anxiety about it, because I've dealt with, all I've seen was a bunch of hostile people. That makes sense, okay? If all you see or experience is hostility from people, then you can't help but feel that your life is in jeopardy. You can't help it. You know, like I don't know who arranged the job, that my last job, okay? But all I got there was a bunch of hostility. Period. From day one. Didn't even start the job and I was experiencing it. So, am I supposed to just sit back and be like, okay, everything's great? No, it's not great. It's not. So, my concerns are understandable, and for somebody to even question that is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. I don't deserve to be deceived or played with, or being placed in a situation where I feel like my life is constantly being threatened, and it's a threat. It's a threat when employers say, or employment agencies or whatever, are basically saying, we're going to help this person, but we're not helping this person. That is a threat to my life. You're basically shutting me out for reasons that I didn't deserve. So I'm very agitated, and there's times where I can kind of get over it, but then I wake up in the middle of the night and there it goes. I'm dealing with the agitation. I'm dealing with the fear again, because I don't trust anybody anymore. It's very difficult for me to have any trust in a situation, especially when I've dealt with completely irrational people throughout this entire time. This whole time I've dealt with nothing but irrational people who basically they don't belong in my business. I resent people on the outside, like people, like for example, the people in the community who got involved in this. It's none of their business. None of it. And that's not being offensive. It's just like, why get involved in something that doesn't concern you? And then for the my issues with relating to my concern about the nationwide spread of this, yeah, I do think that David Duke knows me. I'm not a threat to David Duke. I don't care about the guy. I don't care. I don't care about his movement. I don't care about his beliefs. I don't care about any of that. Okay, I understand how that stuff works, and it's not something that interests me anymore. It doesn't fucking interest me at all. At all. Not even a little bit. It's a topic that I can see right through, and I'm bored with it. Bored with that topic. Which is, I would say, like, many years ago, that was a topic that was just so interesting to me, that people could actually be racist, but the more I think about it, it's just like, oh, okay, whatever. I'm not a threat to white people, not at all. I'm not at all, unless, of course, in their mind they feel that way, because if my existence hurts their feelings, I don't really know what to say about that, you know what I mean? But I have a right to exist, period. Anyway, I think I've rambled on enough this morning, and I had to talk about it, you know what I mean? Because it's, every day I try to think, okay, how can I just get back to work? I just need to get back to work. I need income. I need a life. You know what I mean? And my life is constantly on hold, beyond my control, and I'm not comfortable with that. You know what I mean? My life is only going to return back to normal once I go back to work. That's just the way it is. I mean, a person should have a regular source of income, And some people say, why don't you just work at home? Well, I tried doing something like that, and I was not accepted for work at home jobs. You know what I mean? So I'm at a point where I'm like, well, how exactly am I expected to survive? I don't like the situation I'm in. So anyway, I had to rant that out. You know what I mean? And unless, of course, you're in my shoes, you can't really judge the situation. You know what I mean? But I will tell you, being shut out of employment, or being, denied opportunities or whatever, or people wanting to play with you when you're in a situation that's when your life is threatened, is something that should concern you. It should concern you. And you can't really understand what a person's going through unless, of course, you're dealing with yourself. Anyway, I need to do my hair, and I need to put some shoes on and jot out the door real quick and run my errands. I'll be back with another video later.